What's up, fam? Sorry for being MIA for a few weeks. Been going through some turbulence in my life, but you know what? Fall 7 times, get up 8, and just keep going. But in the spirit of keep going, I'm making this video because I got a lot of requests to make a gun safety beginner's guide and a field clean for pieces. I call them pieces. I don't call them anything else because social media, you already know how that is. They just get a bad rap, just like pit bulls, sharks. You know, if a pit bull bites somebody one time, you have to put it down. Well, let's continue. Let's start with gun safety. There's 4 rules that you need to follow at all times. These cannot be broken, because if these are broken, travesties happen. So, first one, put it down here. Always treat the piece like it's loaded at all times. And I cannot stress this enough. If you grab it, check it, you need to be sure that it is unloaded. If you want to be playing with it, if you want to be doing anything with it, or if you're just in a gun range, treat it as it's loaded. Number 1. Number 2, keep your finger off the trigger. If you are not ready to shoot, keep those digits out. A lot of accidents happen because people be playing with the trigger. They just be they're riding the trigger for no particular reason. A good rule of thumb, always keep your finger out of the trigger guard. This is a trigger guard here. Keep it outside. If you're not ready to shoot, keep it outside. Number 3, point barrel at a safe direction. Do not point this particular thing at whatever you do not want to destroy. If you want to destroy, point that bad boy in there. If you don't, always keep it pointing down, keep it pointing up, or to the side, anywhere where you don't want to destroy something. 4th and last one, be sure what's behind your target. A lot of people miss this one and try to shoot a target that's, let's say, a couple yards away from you, and then there's something behind that can't be destroyed. That bullet will go through it, hit that thing possibly, and then boom. Now you have something else that you did not want to destroy. So always be sure of what's behind your target before you pull the trigger. So just to repeat them one more time, just so they can stick for those that are wishing to get a firearm. These are the 4 rules that you need to follow at all times. 1, always treat it as is loaded at all times. 2, keep your finger off that trigger until you're ready to shoot. Point the barrel at a safe direction, and be sure what's behind your target. So now that we got that out of the way, I'm going to show you how to break it down. There is some pretty tricky components that you need to take into consideration. Mine just happens to be equipped with a red dot. Yes, this is separate. You have to screw these in, and this whole piece is separate. It does not come with the piece at all. Step number 1, make sure that it's unloaded. Nothing in there. Nothing. And the barrel, it is clear. Visually inspect, physically, get your finger in there. It doesn't matter if you get dirty. Get your finger in there, make sure there's nothing in there, casing, and that's it. Put that to the side. Step number 2, remove the slide. For this particular way, there's a couple of setups with polymer guns. Polymer meaning it's made out of plastic. It's very hard plastic, though. It's not gonna explode on you. Put the slide back. For this particular one, there's this lever. Push it down. And then from here, make sure to hold your slide, because this is gonna spring out. This is what holds that spring into place to where it doesn't spring out of its casing. So hold that, put the slide release down, disengage the trigger, from here, this is your recoil spring. This is what prevents your slide to come all the way back with force once the round gets discharged in there. This is what brings it back and seats it back. So just push it forward, it comes out. Yes, this is what keeps everything in tension. Make sure you do not, you hold on to this, because this will spring and break something. From here, barrel, it's locked into place because mine is particularly a threaded barrel that's ready for a suppressor. Put this cap over there, just comes out. This is your barrel. Yes, I have shot it, a couple of rounds in there, so I'm going to show you how to clean it. Field clean, not deep clean. But you can see, I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but I don't know if you can pick up that rifling. Rifling is what the spirals in the barrel is. That's what makes the bullet spin in there and creates accuracy. I don't know how to dive into detail with that, but trust me, you need that stuff. From here, this is where your firing pin comes out. This is where that snap that you hear, there's a little small pin that comes in there, and that's what strikes the round, combustion, propelling that bullet out of the barrel. Put that aside. Use some rags that you're ready to throw away, only because these are full of lead and you don't want to get all that stuff in your clothes and stuff. So just to give it a quick wipe down, yes, there is some internal stuff. If you want to do a more deeper clean, you can pull all these assemblies out and soak them in some ore cleaner. Hops. It's alright, does the job. You don't need anything fancy. You don't need to be paying thousands of dollars for that stuff just to get all the powder out. The powder is all of this stuff here. So look at my finger. Boom. See how that? Yeah, that's what you need to get out. In some pieces though, you need that stuff there. So for whatever reason, if you happen to buy a piece where it starts jamming on you, or if it's failing to cycle, you need to make sure that that powder stays there so it can create some sort of lubricant. But because I hand selected all of my pieces, I know that they will work. So I can clean this bad boy like nothing. Okay. Slide. Let's clean the inside. Get that all wiped in. Put that towel where the sun don't shine. All these little components, just make sure they still work. The extractor pin, this is the extractor pin. That's what creates the round to come out every single time your slide comes in and out. That pulls on the round, causing it to eject. The recoil spring, just give it a quick wipe down. Inside here, so this is what a field clean looks like. Field clean meaning take it all apart quickly, wipe it down, and re-oil it. If you want a deep clean, this is where you take all these small pieces out. You pour this stuff in there. You soak pretty much everything with this stuff, where it breaks down all of the the lead buildup, all the powder buildup in there. But you only need to do that every few thousand rounds, only because some of these parts require that burnout, so it can be more slippery, it can work things better. But for now, we're just gonna be doing a field clean. And yeah, now from here, let's put it back. So first things first, oil. I use this, it's just regular generic gun oil. I got this off Cabela's, Bass Pro, or any of your local gun stores. Just a quick strip, and this will be going all around the barrel. Don't do too much, don't overdo it. It doesn't require all that. For those of you machinists, know that when you over oil a machine, it does more bad than good. So from here, because my barrel's threaded, I need to make sure this goes in first. Just slide it in through where it came from, all the way in, slide it back. Then from there, I'll put my thread cap. It has a gasket in there and makes it tight. And then from here, make sure that you're putting in this correctly. The more thicker piece goes on the tip of the slide, and the less thick side goes where your barrel goes. So you line that up, push down, make sure it catches with your barrel, and bam. Do that one time. This is here. Line it up, push down. Now it's there. Now, this is where the next part comes, is where your oil, wherever there's friction, that's where this needs to come in. I know that there's the friction here. These are some guides that make contact with the slide. Here's another part of the friction. You see the channels here, so you know that that's where friction comes in. The next part is, wherever there's wearing, there's some wearing here. I know that does friction somewhere. I know that this part here does some friction somewhere, because there's some, you can see the marks. So that's where you'll come in with this. Not a lot, again, just a little bit. Dabs on this surface area. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And that's it, ladies and gents. Here, these channels here will need to be lined up with these guide rods, with these guides. Slide it all the way back. Start from the front. Go back. All the way back. Now that you're here, pull it all the way back and pull up with that slide lock. That slide lock needs to lock the back. Boom. See it? Do it one more time. All the way back. Put that slide up, and it's gonna catch. From here, because my locking mechanism is this, snap that back into place, and now I know that this is not going anywhere. If you do that and this spring's open, you did something wrong, so keep checking. Give it a couple of those to get the oil heat up and get it into places that's needed. And bam, ready to go. Now, I know this particular piece is not the common way of the other polymer guns. I know for Glocks, they have this lever on each side that you just push with your thumb and pointing finger, both simultaneously. You pull down, and then this will come out. I tend to like this lever one only because it's a little bit easier. You can literally do it off of one side a little bit faster. That's one of the reasons why I like the FNs. FN is a company that designs this, FN 509. 509 is the model number. This is 509T. The T stands for tactical, making the barrel in this particular model. Now that we got the breakdown, the cleaning, field clean out of the way, I want to show you guys some fundamental shooting tactics. This will apply to pretty much all hand pieces. Most hand pieces will not have red dot unless you install that yourself, but I would say maybe 80% of all hand pieces come with iron sights. These are your iron sights. Mine are a little bit higher than usual only because of the suppressor ready barrel. This is a suppressor ready barrel. When I tend to attach that suppressor, it kind of blocks a little section of it, making these taller ones a little bit better. And also because I attach this red dot, these higher ones tend to be a little better, so I can co-witness. Co-witness meaning that you can see through the red dot and the iron sights at the same time. For whatever reason your red dot fails, you have these as a backup. It kind of makes it a little bit better for me. But shooting fundamentals, getting the sight picture, where to place your front sight, and when to pull the trigger, and how much finger you're supposed to. If you guys feel like I went too fast on the breakdown, please let me know. I do want to make sure that you guys understand the fundamentals of cleaning, breaking down, and understanding your piece. Also, if you guys want to have me break down a particular piece, send me the model number and we can go from there. Another way that to kind of explain the dilemma of these particular pieces and when they get a bad rap, it's kind of like a knife, right? You know they're dangerous, but you don't fear it. They just are what they are. You know what they can do, but at the same time you respect it to where you don't fear for it, but you know what it can do. Same thing with these. You know what they can do, but you respect it because of the things that it can do. Also, these do not walk around and do their own thing. These need to be controlled. These need to be told what to do, as well as these. Hey, go run around. Hey, go do something bad. Just like cars, we tell cars what to do. And just like these, we tell these what to do. The only difference is these are your rights as an American. These are something that should not be infringed on. These are something that is fundamental to our government, to our sanity as Americans, and this is what keeps the power in the people's hands. As soon as these are out of the question, who knows what the government can do. If you want that, then kudos to you, but that's not what America was founded on, and that's not where we want to be headed. Yes, America is not perfect. I fully understand that. We've made many mistakes. We've done many bad things, but this is one of the things that we have gotten right, and I will stand by this 100%. There is a lot of data out there that people want to construe, nitpick, but in the end of the day, when you have 5 million saved lives by this every single year, I will take those stats 100%. Changing the topic, here are some shooting fundamentals that I want you guys to walk away from. I did a little diagram here. This is my rear sight, this is my front sight. Bear with me here, these are bad drawings, I know. But I want to quickly explain to you guys this here. This is a representation of these two rear sights and that front sights. When you line them up, what we want to do is get all 3 dots lined up in the same straight line. Obviously, this is going to take a lot of practice. This is going to take a lot of discipline, but in the end, practice makes improvements. If you want to get better at this, you need to practice, practice, practice. In the end of the day, you are the weapon. You are the expert here, and you need to figure these out to make your practice better. So one of the things that you should know here, you need to have equal space in between the front sight with the rear sight. This little window here, you need to fit that front sight directly in the middle, lining up these 3 dots. And when you're shooting a target, your bullseye needs to land right on top of this. So kind of picture the tip of this as my bullseye. You have to put it right there. That's where you need to see. If you find yourself blocking your bullseye with your front sight, you don't know where you're shooting at. You need to know where you're shooting at. So you just put it right there. If you find that you're not shooting the bullseye, these need to be corrected. These can be moved side to side. These can also be tuned to go up and down. So these need to be zeroed to where your bullseye, just right on top there. Bam. Now, that's just one step. The second step is how much finger you're giving your trigger. When you give too much finger, clear it one more time. Again, making sure that it's clear. Physically inspect, making sure nothing's there. Okay. When you give it too much finger, see, I'm gonna show you what happened. When you give it too much, you find it pulling to the left. My left, your right. When you give it too much, or you give it too little, it goes down. Okay, so finger placement is very important. It does come down to what your finger strength is. Obviously, if you put too much, if you muscle it, you're not gonna get there. So knowing that right balance and where to place your trigger, where to place your finger in the trigger needs to be practiced as well. Only you know the strength of your finger, so you need to figure this out as you practice, getting comfortable with your weapon and making sure that each pull is consistent. Shooting techniques. Grip is very important because obviously you need to control the recoil, and trust me, yes, there is adrenaline happening, there's a lot of nerves happening, so relax. Cannot stress this enough. If you find yourself after the first shot, you're shaking, put it down and just take a couple of breaths, take a step back, clear your mind, because the goal in the end game is to make sure your groups are as tight as they can be. You cannot get tight groups if your hand is just jerking everywhere. Take deep breaths to relax. This is my grip. This is something that was taught to me by an NRA instructor. This is what feels comfortable for me. Obviously, you guys will find a way to be more comfortable, but there's 2 things that you should be taking into consideration. One, the more palm to frame you have, the more real estate you're taking up, the more control you're going to have. If you maintain a tight grip and making sure that you're taking up a lot of real estate in the frame, then your sight picture will pretty much be consistent every single time. So this is my grip. 3 fingers. Well, first, the web of your thumb, all the way up as it can go. 3 fingers wrapped around the handguard. Thumb outside, pointing forward. I've seen some people do this and don't do that because the frame is going to come back every single time. So if your thumb is there, it's going to get caught and you will lose some skin. Do not do that. So instead, your support hand, using this part of the base of your thumb, put that bad boy where your thumb, your your shooting thumb would be there. 4 fingers supporting your 3 fingers. Obviously, 8 fingers are better than just 3. Well, 7 fingers are better than 3. And then creating a vise. Your shooting hand pushing forward, your support hand pushing back, creating a vise. As soon as you create this vise, this is not going anywhere. And lastly, for shooting techniques, get your grip, find your grip that's comfortable, get it there, line up your iron sights. For many triggers, for those of you that are not competition shooters, you will have 2-stage triggers. 2-stage triggers. What that means is you will have some take up to a wall. You see that play? That is called the take up. You pull that, obviously, you first put finger outside the trigger guard, line up your iron sights, pull up that take up, line them up once more, pull. This is where a lot of people fail, because what they tend to do is that they line up their iron sights and pull all the way back. And as soon as you do that, you will mess up, you will jerk up your barrel. And then for those that study physics, you know that the slightest move here will create the biggest travel the further you get. So, the further out you get. And lastly, for those of you that are not competition shooters and are just regular people like me, we'll have 2-stage triggers. So what a 2-stage trigger is, again, making sure it's clear. What 2-stage trigger is, there's a take up. This is just a safety mechanism. That's nothing. But as soon as you get up there, there's some free space. That free space is the first stage. As soon as you feel like there's a wall, that's where the second stage comes into play. Bam. That's your 2-stage trigger. For shooting more accurately, you need to play this into your shooting technique. You got to get your grip together, pull out, line up your iron sights, slowly pull that take up, line up your iron sights once more, slowly pull. Bam. So now, for those of you that are jerkers or flinch, don't feel bad. I still do the same thing, where I anticipate the shot, where once you're ready, pull the shot, you tend to jerk down. You tend to do this. Now, one of the ways to combat that is just relax. Take that deep breath as I pull the trigger. So I breathe. That helps me not anticipate the shot. And for those of you that are figuring out what am I pointing at? I'm pointing at a wall. I know that there's nothing behind this wall. And I know that there's nothing behind the wall that is after that. So, and it's clear. Triple check 5 times, 7 times, 10 times. You can never check so many times. Just continue checking it. So, we went over safety rules, the breakdown, field clean, and shooting techniques. I'm gonna show you some of my targets that I went shooting this last time. Yes, I know it's bad. Do not judge me. But to give you some context as to why it's bad, what I was trying to do is trying to create the shot at release. So I will start from here, take the shot. beep. So my release. I was working on my release because that's one of my weaknesses that I have so far. That's something that I need to work on, making sure that my shots are accurate. Like coming, lining them up, lining up my iron sights quickly, and then taking a shot. So to end, have fun with these, respect these, make sure what your current state laws are, making sure you follow the laws, make sure that you get the training you need. The more training you get, the more proficient you become, the more respect that you'll get, and the more confident you'll get with these. If you don't feel like you're able to carry these loaded, then that fear comes from you. It doesn't come from the weapon. The more confidence you have in your piece, the more accurate you'll be. And trust me, once you get into them, there's no coming back. I have more. I have my selection that I handpicked. I've been doing this for quite a while, so if you guys want to see these other ones, I have some revolvers. Just put them down in the comments if you want what you want next. So I have some ARs back there. Shoot them up in the comments. I'm more than happy to give you some of the insight that I know, share my information that I have, and just keep going. Also, if you disagree with me as a couple of things, please don't feel timid. Come to me, give me your questions. Let me clear things up. If you want to have a conversation about other things, I'll buy you breakfast. I'll buy you coffee. It doesn't matter. I'm here to converse. I'm here to share ideas. I'm here to see where we can find common ground, because that's what I'm about. If you're able to have a conversation with me, let's go. But with that, until next time, thank you for watching. And if I missed something that you want to know, put it in the comments. I'll address it in the next video. I have more stuff coming out, so I'll see you then. Please like and subscribe. This is going to help me grow the channel so I can bring more information to the people. If you feel like this video is going to be valuable to somebody else, just share it. I mean, it's better for them to know than to not know. Or if anybody doesn't feel comfortable with firearms, please share this video. This is more of an educational, and that's about it. So thank you for your support, and we'll see you then.